This is Rich Harshaw. We're here for our Insiders Open Forum. And let's see, the first person that we are going to start with is not on the call. So I guess we'll start with the second person we're going to start with. Let's see. Let me just scroll through this and double check. Okay, we're waiting for Chase Kelly, and I don't see him on here anywhere. So we'll give him a minute to go, and while we're doing that, we'll talk to Arnie. Now, Arnie, I do see you on here, but I see that you're not in talk mode here. You are going to need to type in your audio pin, which is #108#. That is your specific one. That won't work for anybody else but you, but #108#, and that will allow your phone to be live. Until you are live or Chase Kelly shows up, we got nothing here.
Muted.
Okay. Arnie, I can't talk to you unless your audio pin has been punched in. And if it's punching in and not working, then you're going to have to hang up, call back, and punch it in again. And if you do that, it might give you a different audio pin. There you go. Okay, there you go. Arnie, you there? Arnie, I show that you are live. Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, there you go. Thank you for being patient with the unmuting process. That was weird. So tell us what's on your mind today.
No, the problem I had is I put the first code in wrong, and it said goodbye, and then I had to start over.
Oh, okay. Well, we got you now. It's all good.
All right. I thought I was number 2, so I thought I had a little bit of time.
You are number 2, but number 1 has not shown up yet. So
okay, here you go. Okay, I had 2 in. The first question was size of postcard, and I don't know if you have my email there, but
I do.
We've been running the I believe it's 6 by 11, and we were offered 8.5 by 11 for 3 cents more, and I did the old kind of test thing. I took some different size cards, threw them in my mail, and I have a concern that if you go to just a little bigger card, almost like an 8.5 by 11, it gets put with the catalogs and doesn't get put with the mail. And I'm just wondering if you had any research or anything that kind of looked at the different sizes, both for B2C, like putting stuff in a real mailbox, or B2B, where it's landing on, I'm going after, say, directors and vice presidents. So I was faced with this, and I'm just wondering if you've done any research or tests about size of mail.
Well, this is a good point. When you start getting over the 6.5 by 11, or excuse me, the 6 by 11, not 6.5 by 11, you do get into this area where folding becomes a potential problem. And I'm more concerned about folding from a making your piece look jacked up standpoint than I am from it getting hidden in the catalog standpoint, because people are going to still go through their catalogs to see what catalogs. So there's going to be this element of sorting through the mail. If your hope is that by putting it in the larger range, that it's going to somehow stick out of the mail pile and be noticed more, that may or may not be the case. It depends on what's coming in their mail that day. But in most cases, given the fact that a lot of people have catalogs and oversized things coming on a daily basis anyway, it doesn't necessarily pop out. But it still does have pop as they're sorting. The 8.5 by 11 postcard still is fairly unusual. Wouldn't you agree with that?
It is. Yeah, it is. And I mean, but I had 2 of them in my hand, and I start playing with them, and I'm start going, it just, especially in personal mail these days, you seem to get so many catalogs where when I put it in my little test, that was just my test.
Yeah, but this is one of those things. There's no perfect answer. There's no, hey, here's the definitive answer. Because here's another problem that we're finding more and more is that not only are there more catalogs, but guess what else there also is more of now? There's also more 6 by 11 postcards.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so now yours is one of 2 or 4, or in some days maybe 5 or 6. And so you've got this element of getting lost. So we still want to put the emphasis on the design and layout of the card, of course, along with the messaging and the hopefully something that's powerful on the card. That's where we're really going to do our damage. We know this. We know that if we put an ad in the newspaper, that a certain percentage of people that get the newspaper won't see that page. We know that, okay? We also know that if we put an ad on the radio, that a certain number of the listeners won't actually hear that particular ad. Same thing goes for TV and other types of advertising. But we know that if somebody gets their mail, they're going to sort through it, and they're going to see every single piece. Now, there's some screening issues and some gatekeeper issues, and let's set those aside for a moment. We know this. The mail's going to get looked at, so I want to make sure, first and foremost, I really don't want my mail to be jacked up. We don't do a whole lot of 8.5 by 11 mailers. There is a little bit of cost issue involved with that, but it does tend to get folded up and jacked up a little bit, and they unfold it and they're looking at it, but it's still kind of semi-half folded and it doesn't look that great, or maybe it's not that it looks that bad, but it's just hard to read because now it's half folded. And who's going to take the time to unfold it and to straighten it up and to look at it and say, okay, well, now I've got it all straightened out. Now let me read it. I'm exaggerating, obviously, to make the point that 6 by 11 is typically not going to get folded, not going to get jacked up. If you've got a good, strong message, it's sufficiently large that it's going to be seen. It's going to have enough room to have impact, unlike a smaller card where you have less room on your card to say stuff. So, I'm typically going to go with the 6 by 11. That's what we do the majority of our mail. If you came to me and said, well, hey, we want to do this 8.5 by 11, I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm not going to say, well, that's really stupid, because it's not really stupid. But, there's pros and cons of each way. And in my experience, the 6 by 11 tends to work well enough. Also, you've got to look at it in terms of what are you trying to accomplish? Is this a multi-touch campaign or is this a single-touch campaign?
And the ones we're working on is the multi-touch, starting monthly. We got one. I have one that's running monthly. It was offered to go a little bigger. We seem to be getting pretty good results with it, and I'm just going, hey, 3 cents a piece. We're doing about $8,000 a month. I just wanted to hear you talk about it. It's like I did my own little test by sticking it in the mailbox and bringing it out, and I'm going, geez, I just can't justify 3 cents a month because what we got is kind of working.
Yeah, I think we talked through it enough. I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another in terms of pros versus cons.
And there was another automated one. Let me go back to it. It's a little smaller, 5.5 by 8.5, and this one is one more where the system can be automated, and you could do a combination of both email and postcard and put it into one system. And I'm going, okay, I kind of like that. There's some benefits to it. It's just a little smaller. So I had a little bit of a concern of 5.5 by 8.5 kind of getting mixed in with the mail because I like the 6 by 11s. But if it's automated, it reduces cost of handling. So
I prefer the 6 by 11 is my favorite size. That's just my personal preference.
All right, and that's what I'm kind of running.
What was your
okay?
What was your other question?
And my other question was, when you were doing the B2B call, the one that got lost, it was, I have a long list of people. I need to validate the names and the titles and the emails, and you talked just quickly about a script. You went through it that said, hi, I'm so-and-so from this place. I'm calling to verify, give the person's name and information. And I was wondering, okay, they're not customers of ours, so I say, I'm from where? And then if they come back with, who did you say, or who are you again? I'm trying to get that kind of answer because I'm going to write a script for someone to go through and just pound through, 1,000 of these. And I'm just trying to get that.
Tell them your name is Barack Obama. That usually works well, or not well, depending on who you're calling.
Okay.
Okay, so give me the specific situation. Who are you trying to get in touch with here?
Okay, we have a list of directors, vice presidents of information systems, and we are trying to validate their name and address because we're going to start a postcard campaign, and this is for people that are in charge of the purchase and repair of point-of-sale systems. And so we got this long list, in the retail industry of these people, and we were doing a little checking, and they seem to be people got promoted, their titles have changed. So we feel that in order to do it right, we need to just kind of walk through that list, get somebody to call and say, hi, this is so-and-so, I'm from here, and I need to validate Mr. Jones's information so we can make sure we're sending it to him correctly.
Is this the point-of-sale printer repair guy?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What's that guy's name again?
The retail printer. This is Washburn Computer Group.
Washburn. Okay, that's different than I was thinking.
Yeah, you had one that was just a printer repair. This guy does all the point of sale, the touch screens, everything.
So, here's what I would do. I think anytime you start trying to build any kind of pretense into it, it's not particularly helpful. Okay? So here's one way you could approach this. First of all, don't really identify yourself at all unless you get asked. So, hey, I was calling, I'm trying to get a hold of whoever's the person in charge of this. Who would that be? Well, who is this? That's when you start volunteering information about yourself. But if you don't get that objection or, hey, who is this, then just continue with, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of whoever does this. Who is that person over there? Oh, well, that's Dave Stevens. Okay, well, I want to validate an address for him. I'm trying to send him something in the mail. Anytime people know that you're trying to send them something in the mail, guess what happens? Generally, not always, but generally. What do you think?
Probably volunteer it.
Well, what they do is in their mind, they say, oh, okay, this is not somebody that's trying to bug me on the phone or bug me, on my email. So, yeah, here's the address. Okay. And they typically are very easy to give up that address. So, hey, I was trying to get a hold of whoever's in charge of your information systems over there. I've got something I want to send them in the mail. Who would that be? You might even just send them something in the mail up front.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's John Stevens. Oh, okay. What was his title again? Oh, well, he's the CIO, or he's the chief technology guy, or he's our information service. Whatever his title is, and then you decide if that sounds like the right title you want or not. Right? Oh, well, no, I'm actually looking. Who's his boss? Well, who is this? Oh, well, my name's Arnie, and I'm trying to send something over in the mail. What's the right address for Joe? Oh, well, it's 123 Pecan Lane. Oh, okay. And if I was to send something to Joe, that's the right address, correct? Yes. Well, what if I sent something to Joe's boss? Would it be the same address or a different address? Oh, well, that would be, who is this again? Well, this is Arnie. Well, who are you with again? I'm with XYZ. And I want to send this over to him in the mail. Oh, well, then you just decide, are they going to give up that information or not? But I'm going to send something in the mail is a fairly innocuous way to say something to somebody and to confirm, what their title is and so forth.
Yeah.
Then what you can do later.
Yeah.
Then what you can do later is you can call back. You can say, hey, I'm trying to get an email over to Joe Stevens, but I don't. Can you give me his email address real quick? Okay. Oh, well, who are you? What do you want to know for? Then I would say I would just be I would be upfront with people without being. You don't have to fully disclose. Here's what fully disclose means. Well, my name's Arnie Wetland, and I'm with XYZ, and I'm trying to send a direct mail piece and put it in my hopper system, and I want to send him an email once every 2 weeks for the rest of his life. That would be full disclosure, right?
Yeah. Okay.
We may not want to say that, but we may want to say, well, my name's Arnie, and I'm with XYZ company, and I'm just trying to get his email. I've been sending some things in the mail, and I want to get through to him via email. What would his email address be? Oh, well, we don't give that information out. Okay, well, why is that? Well, we don't want to get spam. We don't want, whatever. Okay, well, I tell you what, could I leave him a voicemail then? No. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I don't want to do. Well, I'm Barack Obama's personal secretary, and I've got a message for him. I know you wouldn't say that, and I make a silly scenario to show, just to illustrate the point. I don't really like getting into a lot of pretense.
All right. Now, go through, just walk through it quickly. I have something out of a directory from the National Federation of Retailers. So I have this guy's name and address, so I can call in because I have a name, I have an address, and I just want to verify it. It seems to me that if I volunteer Mr. Jones, the Vice President of Information Systems, and I'd like to validate that I have the right information, does that make it easier because they already go, well, this guy already knows quite a bit? So I guess, yeah, that's where he still is.
In that case, I might call in and say, hey, this is John over at XYZ Company. Hey, I was trying to send a piece of mail over to Dave Stevens, your CIO over there. A couple things. Number one, I wanted to validate that this address I have is right. I've got it down for 123 Pecan Street. Is that still the right address? Now, guess what's going to happen if that guy's still not there?
Yeah, they're going to tell you.
They're going to say, oh, wait, he's not even here anymore. Oh my gosh, really? So who took his place?
Yep.
Now, ideally, you've got somebody with a little bit of finesse skills on the phone. You know, if you hire a telemarketing company to plow through your list, that's probably not going to happen.
Okay.
Just being realistic.
Okay, so you're saying a regular telemarketing company typically wouldn't be able to have the kind of what you're saying, the finesse to kind of work their way through the list? Well,
probably not. I mean, let's just be honest about things in life, okay? If you are making $8 or $9 an hour working a telemarketing job, it may be an indicator of your lack of other skills.
Okay. All right.
You know, so it's one step sideways from the guy at McDonald's. Now, that's not always true, and there's exceptions, and maybe you've got somebody that's willing to work for that much. That's wonderful, but if you do, tell me who it is, and I'm going to get him on the phone doing more important things. Right?
All right. Well, I mean, and I've heard of you talk about, using telemarketing companies to collect information. And this one, I just wanted to make sure if I was getting somebody to do it, I'd get the script right.
Well, what you could do is you could get your telemarketing company to pound through the list, gather all the data they can, and then anything that comes back, wouldn't give information, then maybe put a more talented person on the phone.
All right.
If you're dealing in large numbers, the telemarketing company is the way to go because they're just going to cover a lot of territory.
Yeah. And then you pick up whatever they can't seem to get right.
Sure. And you go. Let's say you got 5,000 on your list, and they validate 3,500. I'd go through the other 1,500 and decide. I'd put them in a priority. How important is the data, and then I would start at the top of the list.
All right. All right. Cool. Good discussion.
Okay. Thanks, Arnie.
Thanks, Rich. Bye-bye.
All right, I'm going to put you on mute, and I see that Chase is now with us. Chase, you've unmuted. Are you there?
Hey, Rich. Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, no problem. Sorry about the confusion on the TMAC the other day. I guess, did we just miss it, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. I think it got lost in transit somewhere. So.
Okay, well, I apologize.
No worries.
It's a rarity, but it always stinks when the rarity hits you in the butt, right?
Oh, yeah. It's really not a big deal as far as that goes. I appreciate you taking the time today to look at this. I know I kind of threw this one together, and it's not really the prettiest one is from a layout standpoint, but kind of an overview. This is kind of a pickup back on what you and I talked about a while back with the eyelashes and doing the membership. Do you recall that call?
Yeah, the Lash Club for women.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great idea, and we've been working through the details. I've been testing a little bit of it with some clients. Obviously been getting a great response with it. That $250, $300 upfront charge is gone now. They just have to basically commit to a full year at a lower price, and it's been really well received. So we're working.
How much are you charging? $99 a month? Is that right?
Yeah, that's for our basic stylist. It's $99 a month, and then if you want a master stylist, it's a little bit more. But yeah, so we were able to work it out in that price range, so keep it under that $100 range. So it reads really well, and we're just trying to figure out now exactly where we want to, where we're hiring some people we're trying to get the right talent in place, and that's kind of been the holdup is getting. We've gone through a couple of people that didn't really work out, but now we're settling on a couple of people who are really talented, and we're going to start advertising and trying to figure out where we want to go with it and what the best bang for our buck's going to be to try and drive those sales in the door. This ad right here is sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm still listening.
I was going to say this ad here is designed in a size that goes in, it's called All Over Media. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but what they do is they put up advertisements in bathrooms and different areas. And we've talked about this before, gas stations, just their display ads. They go on a wall. They're about 11 by 17 size, and you're on the wall with a couple other ones. So it's in areas where you probably would have a couple minutes to, it's in a bathroom, and it's a ladies' bathroom, so they, on the back of the door and places like that, where you would have time to read it. They go in gyms and restaurants and that type of place too. So I've got a deal with this guy where I'm going to buy the remaining inventory that he has in the Austin area on a monthly basis, and he's going to give it to me at a really cheap rate. I'm just buying everything that he has left over. At like $10 an ad. So that's one of the ads I was looking at, in addition to either doing postcards, and I don't know if radio would be the right way to go at this point. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with you today, is ask you what your thoughts were on it.
Okay, let's tackle this in two parts. Part one we'll tackle is how to talk about this on the ad so that it's more powerful. And then number two, we'll talk about how to potentially get this out there, including the way that you're going now and maybe some other options as well, okay?
Okay.
So as I look at this ad, I think it's got some problems. And the major problem is that it doesn't speak to the major issue in a powerful enough way to get me interested in reading the text that gives me sort of the full scoop. Let's review the headline. Long, gorgeous, natural-looking eyelash extensions actually can be ridiculously affordable. We got a few grammatical and typographical errors in there. I'll just pass by on those, assuming we can fix those. But here's what I don't really like about it. What do you want somebody to know? There's two problems I have with this. Number one is I'm globbing two concepts together, and by doing so, I'm diminishing the power of both. So number one, you've got long, gorgeous, natural-looking eyelash extensions. Long, gorgeous, natural-looking eyelash extensions. That's 6 words. I have to process, what does that mean? Oh, are you trying to say that there's some way to get long, gorgeous, natural eyelash extensions? Well, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next part. Can actually be ridiculously affordable. Okay, so this thing called long, gorgeous, natural-looking eyelash extensions are also very affordable. And I think the reality of what you want to accomplish here is help people understand that they're ridiculously affordable. And by globbing these two things together into this kind of big globby headline, not that you can't have a long headline, but I do think it looks fairly blobby on there. That sounds weird, globby and blobby. But it's kind of globbed in there, so it creates this big, visually hard to untangle headline, and I think you lose a lot of power. Now, the second problem I have with this is it doesn't really speak to the issue of affordability very, very well, because it says it's ridiculously affordable, but that sounds like a fairly common type of claim that you would hear for lots of different kinds of things that basically says, hey, it's cheap. I mean, how many things are advertised as, hey, we got great prices on something?
Mm-hmm.
We sell lawnmowers and they're really cheap. We sell cars and they're really cheap. We've got diapers and they're really cheap. That's what this kind of sounds like. It's ridiculously affordable. And in your mind, you might be thinking, well, I've used this elevator of ridiculously affordable, but to the uninitiated reader who really doesn't have any idea what you're talking about coming into it, the fact that you've got this revolutionary way of selling this product is completely ununderstood. if there is such a thing as being ununderstood. There is now, I guess.
Okay.
So I think what I would rather do is I would rather focus more heavily on this unique way that you sell this that is indeed ridiculously affordable, and then really almost assume or give people an idea that it's okay to read more to find out what this actually is. So in other words, we've had this discussion before, right? How many women know what an eyelash extension is? If you say eyelash extensions, what percentage, not of women, but of your target segment of women, what percentage of those women know what it is and actually know what it is, not just think they know what it is? What percentage of women actually know what it is versus those that go, what do you mean, eyelash extension? What's that? What do you think the percentage is?
It's since the last time I talked to you, I think it's grown. I think it's more like 80 to 90% of our target market knows
on the bell curve, we call that everybody.
Right.
Okay. So to come in here and talk about long, gorgeous, natural-looking eyelash extensions is it's unnecessary.
Gotcha.
It would be like let's say that Mercedes-Benz came out with a plan that allowed you to pay $99 a month and always have a new Mercedes every 6 months of whatever version you wanted. Okay, that would be pretty revolutionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they came out with an ad that said, now you can look sophisticated, stylish, make your neighbors envious, blah, 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 and all these superlatives, and it's burying the lead, right? All they've got to say is, hey, man, it's freaking Mercedes-Benz. Everybody knows exactly what that means. Why? Because it's just a common knowledge thing. If 85% of women know what eyelash extensions are, let's just say eyelash extensions.
Okay.
So here's what I want to know. I just picked these words out of your text here.
Okay.
I'm not writing a headline now. I'm trying to identify what I want people to know. Here's what I wanted to know. Full set. There's no lash limit. I just made that phrase up, lash limit. Unlimited fills. Highest quality lashes only. No upfront fees. True, right?
Right.
Is there anything else I'm missing? It's a low monthly fee. I don't necessarily want to talk about that just quite yet. Whoa.
Okay.
So, did I miss anything?
No.
You know how the program works better than I do.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the things.
Okay. Full set, no lash limit, unlimited fills. Would you be willing to do the first month free?
Probably not.
You can tell me why.
Well, I mean, we've got it as pretty much as low as I think we want to go with it at this point.
Well, I'm just looking at it this way. I'm not saying, hey, go first month free and you need to do it. I'm saying let's just explore it because to me it's an interesting concept.
Okay.
If you did first month free, then you're normally trying to get them on a 12-month contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a contract. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
This is like your cell phone. You can't just quit, correct?
Right. Exactly. It's a $200 cancellation fee. Exactly.
Okay, so to use the cell phone bill analogy is correct. You can't just quit without a penalty. So
exactly.
You're going to get your money. Now, people will screw you over, and then you've got to decide, do you want to take them to small claims court? Do you want to send collections agency? All those things are in play, but those are going to be in play no matter what, right?
Right.
So if you said to somebody, first month free, then you've got $99 that you're not getting, but then you put them on still a 12-month contract, so you're still going to get $1,200 out of them. But it's going to take you 13 months to get it instead of 12. Now, you might come back to me and say, well, we're going to get them on, a renewal anyway. So that 13th month, we would actually be getting paid the 13th $99, to which my reply would be, well, who cares then? Because if they stay on for over a year, then that's just bonus money, and you're in the money. So I don't know that shifting the first $99 payment a month later really makes that much difference financially.
Well, I've got labor, I got hard costs up front because that installation, the first appointment is longer, it's more expensive. So I've got those costs that I'm now.
What is the cost involved in that?
$54 plus probably about $65, $70, somewhere in there.
And what's the cost on a monthly basis to maintain?
Probably about 50-ish.
Okay, so let's run the numbers on this. For an annual contract, you're going to have 11 times 55 plus 70. You're going to have a $675 cost on a $1,200 sale, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
$525 profit. So it really becomes a cash flow issue. The only reason I'm going through this with you, Chase, is I wonder how much more interesting it makes the offer to say your first month is free. Or,
I got you.
Stated differently, not even your first month is free, but we will give you lash extensions for free.
Yeah.
And then they go, really? For free? How does that work? Well, here's how it works. We've got this revolutionary new thing. Here's how it works. Normally you charge $250 and $60 every 2 weeks. It's $1,800. We've got this thing where we do it for $99 a month. And if you're interested in doing that, hey, we'll do it for free. And then, you know, your payments will kick in on month 2. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, okay, then it's not free anymore. You know, we fully disclose it. It's not like we're trying to trick people, but we do want people to look at the offer and the ad. So that might be interesting, and hopefully that helps you see why I'm bringing this up now as I set out to write this headline, because I may want to lead with something like that. Now, in absence of that, go ahead.
I was going to say, we can still say that and still charge them $99 in the first month, right? I mean, what you're paying for is the fill. You're paying the fill membership, right? So $99 a month. You're not really paying the $250 up front. You're paying.
I think if you say free and then they've got to pay right away, I think it puts a bad taste in people's mouth.
Okay.
Hey, it's free except for the $99 that I want you to give me right now.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
Now, if you say it's free and we'll actually install the eyelashes for free, I don't know if install is the right word, but you know what I'm saying. We'll install the eyelashes for free, and then you go on our monthly maintenance program. Starting 30 days from now, you pay us X. Then people might go, wow, okay. It's just something to think through. Again, I don't want to impose that on you. I don't want to say, hey, this will make a huge difference, but I think it might make a huge difference. I don't know. Now, let's just go back and let's deal with this under the assumption that it's not free for the first month, okay? Because we still got a lot to work with here.
Okay.
So what if we said something like this? Eyelash extensions. How about this? Unlimited, full set, unlimited, full set, highest quality lash extensions for just $99. No lash limit. I kind of like this lash limit in quotation marks. No lash limit. How many times a month can they come in? 2, 3, 4?
They can come in every 2 weeks, so 2 to 3 times a month.
Unlimited, full set, high quality lash extensions, highest quality lash extensions for just $99. No limit. No. Wait, I want to say this different. Full set. I'm going to read. I need a bigger piece of paper. I ran out of room. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put this on the screen and type it, and then we can kind of go on the fly here. Okay, you should see my Microsoft Word now. Now you can get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions for just $99. Highest quality lash extensions for just $99. Includes unlimited, I can't spell, unlimited fills, no upfront fees. I'm going to take that one out later, but let me leave it in there as a placeholder, okay?
Okay.
Now you can get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions for just $99. Includes unlimited fills, no upfront fees, and no lash limit. Oops, I went the wrong way. All right, let's see what we've got and see if we like it. Now you can get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions for just $99. Now, all by itself, that's an interesting phrase, I think, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very unusual. Includes unlimited fills, no upfront fees, and no lash limit. Now, we got to work with that upfront fees here in just a second, so give me a second to work on
Sure.
that. But then, as they say, well, gosh, $99, the immediate thing that comes into their mind is what? Well, it must be some kind of cheap, stupid thing, right?
Right.
Includes unlimited fills, no upfront fees, and no lash limit. Then they're saying to themselves, crap, really? You know, this is like, T-Mobile or whoever, to go back to the cell phone analogy. Now you can get, an iPhone 5, or now you can get cell phone service for only $40 a month, including tax. Includes unlimited texting, unlimited data, unlimited 4G, no extra charge for taxes, no overages, no nothing ever, period. It's just, and people look at that and they go, geez, that's awesome. They've covered everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions for just $99. Includes unlimited fills, no upfront fees, and no lash limit. Now, on this no upfront fees, let's deal with this a little bit, because there is a $99 upfront fee.
Yeah, and actually, we're toying with the idea of charging a $50 membership fee too.
And why is that?
To make more money.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
Well, I mean, look at what you're already telling me. You're saying if somebody comes in there and gives you $99, you're already in the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could argue with me, well, what if we can get it?
Right.
Then it's just extra money. The same reason that, anyway, if you can get it, is it worth it? And then what you may want to consider, though, is, well, is it something that causes you to lose some sales? Perhaps, is it something that causes you to have customers that don't feel as good about the program? This is like the gym membership.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to charge you a $95 activation fee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's that for? Well, it's just a fee. You got to pay it. Well, what is it? Well, it's just a fee. Well, what's it for? Well, it's for fees. And you're like, well, that's stupid. So you go in there to sign up. You're in your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to go in and sign up for a $49 a month gym membership. And you walk out of there having written a check for $280.
Right.
Oh, well, we need the first month, we need the last month, we need the activation fee, we need the towel disposal fee, and we have the right to make more money off of you fee. Just give us a check for $280. And you walk in thinking it's $49, and you walk out either not writing the check or writing the check and not feeling good about it. I would rather steer away from that if possible, especially if you feel good about $675, $1,200. You know what I would do? I would rather do, how about you do this? I'm just being stupid now, so please forgive me. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes in and they're like, oh, this is great. Okay, well, fantastic. Here's how it works. It's $99 a month. Here's what you get, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's also, by the way, a $100 membership fee. However, we will waive the $100 membership fee if, in addition to the lash program, you also get on our nail program or our hair program or our massage program, or what, I don't care what programs you have. You get the idea, right?
Right.
Now, the way the nail program works is we'll do your fills and blah, 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 and that one is X dollars a month. Or the hair one is X dollars a month, or, you know, there's two different levels. The hair one and the massage one is X. So if you'd like to get on this, then your total price instead of $99 would be $198, because that one's also $99 a month, or it would be $149 because that one's $50 a month. Then we'd waive this, and now not only are you getting your lashes filled every month, you're also getting your hair done every month, or you're getting your massage every month, or you're getting your whatever every month. And oh, by the way, you're getting a better deal on those things too.
Okay.
Then they go, oh, geez, it'll waive this fee, and now you just upsold them to something else. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to or can or have availability to do this same concept with other services, but my question to you would be, well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easily translatable into other services, I would expect.
Yeah, we already do it for massage, so yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you do impose that fee for the sheer ability to waive it. And then what you have the ability to do is, I don't know who sells this, and I don't know how much finesse they have. We talked about finesse with the previous caller. Mm-hmm. But maybe you say, well, it's a $100 fee for each of these. That's $200. If you buy two of them together, we'll waive it. And the guy says, you know what, I just really just want this one. But, man, that fee, you know, that's a lot of money. It's $100. Hey, you know what, I'll tell you what, I'll knock it in half to $50. Now you just gave them a good deal by knocking it to $50, which was your original price anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you really want to, hey, you know what, if you go ahead and sign up today, I'll just waive that fee for you today.
Right.
Then you've got some.
We could give them some sort of something. We could find something to give them a $50 gift card or something. It's a $50 upfront fee, but it includes a $50 gift card, something like that, or $100.
Well, you know what I would do? You know what I might do instead? I like that idea. I like it a lot. But instead of taking it and saying, here's a $50 gift card, to which their mental response is, wait a second, I just paid $50 for a $50 gift card. That's really weird. Maybe I don't want the gift card. Maybe you create some kind of introductory basket that's got some shampoos or something that you'd like to get them addicted to. Mm-hmm. And it maybe costs you $25 of your hard cost. So you give them back $25 of it, but you give it to them as a thank you gift that serves a purpose of making them go, wow, you know, now this is fantastic. I got this gift.
Yeah, we could give them samples of our other services. Give them, it's a $100 fee, and you get a massage, you get a facial, they get to try all the other services as part of that deal. So they get like $200 in services for $100. It's required. It's a membership fee, something like that.
Well,
right.
You know, I'm almost steering away from that. It just doesn't feel that good to me because basically here's what I'm hearing you say. Hey, we need you to give us money for some reason, and you're actually kind of making me prepay for stuff that I really may not even want.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a rationale that says, well, this $100 fee gets you, you know, all these other services at a discount, to me, I just automatically go, well, maybe I don't want those other services.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people might like that. Some people might go, oh, hey, that's a great deal. But a lot of people might go, really? You're making me give you $100, and your rationale is that it's for these other things. I don't want those things.
Well, they may not want the basket either, right?
But see, the basket is not. I'm not telling them, hey, you're getting a basket for your $100 fee. I'm saying there's a $100 fee. It's our administrative fee to get you in the program. It's our membership fee. It's your annual fee. It's your whatever fee. Oh, thank you for joining. Here's a membership. Here's a basket. So that at least they go, oh, wow, they gave me something. I feel good about it. It's a completely different setup there. Are you with me on that?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I'm also trying to set my fees artificially high so that I can then either upsell and waive it, or even if I don't upsell, and if they don't, I'm going to back up. I'm going to set my fee at $100 per program. Then I'm going to waive the fees, which is $200, right? Because there's 2 programs if they upsell. But even if they don't, then I'm going to let my people either cut that fee in half or waive it altogether so that now I look even more benevolent. I mean, think about it. What if you went into the gym and the guy goes, hey, it's a $99 initiation fee plus, $70 a month for the gym. We need your first and your last month. That's going to be $100 plus 70 plus the last month 70. That's $240. And you're like, crap, $240. And by the way, that scenario I just gave you is extremely realistic. $240. And again, in your mind, you weren't thinking nearly that much. It screws your budget up. It screws what you're thinking up. And the guy goes, look, I tell you what, go ahead and get signed up today, and I'll waive that for you. I'll waive the $100. Instantly, he's a hero. Now you feel like you got a deal. Now you feel like you just, shortcutted the system. And now something that was initially a negative becomes a super huge positive. So I don't know, just something to think about. Don't get too hung up on that, but I would think through that. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Now you get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions, maybe highest quality of high quality, highest quality for just $99. Includes no unlimited fills, no upfront fees.
Well, they are the highest quality. Would it be beneficial? This is what's widely regarded as the best eyelash extensions there are. Is it worth putting that in there, or is that why you changed it?
No, I didn't know if it sounded super good. Now you can get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions available. Make that a little stronger for just $99. Includes unlimited fills. Something goes here, and no lash limit. All right, you figure out what goes there. I don't know. Something that sounds good.
Includes a full set. Do we want to put that in there? Full set, unlimited fills, and no lash limit.
Thank you.
And the fact that it's $99 a month, do you think we need to put that in the headline, or is that something we discuss later? Okay.
Yeah, then we get down here and we discuss that later.
Sure.
And that's what I'm trying to hit. I'm going to put another sub-headline in here. See, now what I've done here is I've introduced frame of reference, just in case they're not quite sure, they're not quite clear. Now, I've told them what the value is. Now you can get a full set of the highest quality lash extensions available for just $99. Includes full set, unlimited fills, and no lash limit. Don't spend $249 plus $60 every 2 weeks for fills. I don't like that as much. Just something like this. So here's what happens. Come on. I tell the story right there. Now somebody's going to go, well, geez, this is awesome. And there is more to the story, which is, well, it's a membership, and here's how it works. But here's the reality, and here's why people aren't going to get upset that, hey, it's $99 a month. Because you can't play the lash extension game unless you're serious. True enough?
Right.
You can't say, well, just give it to me once and that's going to be good enough. You can't do that. You're going to look like a fool after 2 or 3 weeks. True enough?
Right.
So the people that are interested in playing this game already know that it's an ongoing thing. And then when you come in here and say, look, it's just $99 a month and you can come in twice a month, we'll do this and this, they go, oh, crap, that's good.
Yeah. So down below, that's where, in this case, do you think this is the right sort of format? I mean, in your opinion, as far as the design goes, for what I'm talking about for this use,
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's fine. One thing that I don't like in this, just one little sentence, on the second paragraph, where it says, sound a little crazy. We think the way these other places do it is crazy, and I'm sure you do too. You do too.
Yeah.
I don't like that sentence there because you just talked about how you do it. We revolutionized the eyelash industry. For only $99 a month, you get a full set of lashes. We do not limit the number of lashes you can put on. By the way, speaking of by the way, your grammar here is not sound.
Yeah.
But you're talking about what you do, and then you throw this on here. We think the way these other places do it is crazy, and I'm sure you do too. And it throws a little bit of mental confusion in there. Which way is crazy? This way or the other? What? Huh? Which? Huh? You were talking about the other way. Now you're talking about your way, and now you're saying it's crazy. I would rather it's over redundant. You don't need it in there.
Okay.
I wonder if instead of saying lash extensions, if you came in here and said extreme lash. Now, a lot of people may not know that brand, but they can probably infer that that's a good brand just by looking at this. I don't know. Maybe not.
And I agree. And if they do know what they are, then they'll know what a deal. They'll even know what a better,
correct,
how much a better deal it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that because it says extreme lash, it's got the word lash in there. I mean, if their brand name happened to be, Beautify, then it would mess that up. But because it says extreme lash, I think it works probably.
Okay. You make this look so easy.
It is easy. All you have to do is do it for 10,000 hours, and it becomes easy. Is that now redundant to say extreme lash lashes?
Well, it's not even a $99 upfront fee. It's just $99 a month. I guess it would be upfront.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right, so the zero, we charge a modest $99 upfront fee for a full set of extreme lashes, best around the market, and then maintenance fee to keep your laser on all the time. You can, and we recommend, come in every 2 weeks for full fills to keep your lashes looking, you know, awesome, fabulous, whatever. Okay, that's kind of how I do it.
Okay. So, yeah, 90 minutes. How'd you know?
All right.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
You've
lucky
been looking
guess.
into this, huh?
Well, it just seems like about how long it would take. Can't type. Club probably sounds like a dumb word.
Not necessarily. I kind of like that.
All right, it's coming to you right now. The end.
Thanks.
I do
So,
something like that, and it could look just like this. This looks fine.
okay. Okay.
So go ahead and
go ahead. What were you saying?
just go ahead and get it designed and send it back over, and I'll do a quick look at it.
Okay. Thanks, Rich. And as far as like distribution, what do you?
Oh yeah, part two.
What do you think?
Well, you know, so you look at this and say, how much money can you allocate to marketing? You know, you've got this profit margin on this product of $525. So you don't have that much money to spend on marketing. So I don't know. I mean, you're just going to have to look at different things. If we went to radio, okay, let's see how that would work. If we spent $3,000, the key here is how much money are you willing to spend? If I was to bring you 10 new customers right now for this program, you've got a profit margin of $5,250 over the course of a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are these customers worth more money to you in other services as well? The answer is probably they are. So let's say that the annual profitability, I'm going to make this up right now. You run your own numbers that are real. But let's say that the average 10 average customers would be worth $5,250 in margin from just the lashes, but they also might be worth an additional, let's say, $3,000 in margin on other services. That may be too high, that may be too low. You tell me later. It doesn't matter for our purposes. What I want to know is this. You've got $8,250 in margin coming in. How much are you willing to spend to accrue that $8,250? Are you willing to spend $1,000? You're willing to spend $2,000? You start getting much over $2,000, $3,000, certainly you're going to really start cutting into your profits, right?
Right.
So if we were able to spend $3,000 and accrue 10 customers, is it worth it? And the answer might be, well, yeah. but maybe we need to get 20 customers. I don't know. I mean, these are just all things that can be tested to try them out and see what happens. So any way you put this out there, whether it be through a billboard or a signage program like you're talking about now, or television, or mailers, or any of the above, it's just, I would test it conservatively, see how many people come in, how many get to sign up. But it's key to get this message right. The key is to get this message right.
Definitely. I agree with you on that. I mean, I've always been a big proponent of direct mail in the past, but I mean, it is fairly expensive but it, you know, you can measure it really well, and that's why, you know, radio.
You can measure anything really well.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just never messed with radio at all, and I don't really know. You know, I know you like radio, but it's probably depending on what you're trying to do, right? I guess.
Well, the biggest problem that you've got with radio is how far are women willing to travel for this service?
Well, we get people from quite a ways away, and at this price, I mean, nobody else is doing this. So I'm thinking we'll probably get people drive across the town, across the city, probably. You know, it's not everyone, but
I'm not asking people to drive from, you know, Wichita Falls to get there, but
right.
You know, will they drive across Austin, because radio is going to hit the entire Austin market. So if somebody finds out, hey, we're over in, what is it, Bees Cave or something like that?
Yeah.
Bee Cave, whatever it is, you know, my crap, you know, that's too far away. If my wife called on this deal and found out it was in Garland and we're in Southlake, she would never go in a million years, because Dallas is huge and Garland is an hour drive.
Yeah.
So you just got to understand and deal with that. My job is not to tell you if that's a good idea or not. It's just you got to understand the magnitude of how that might work.
Gotcha.
Okay, assuming that that's not an overwhelming problem. Okay, great. Let's put together an ad. Let's get the script. Let's spend a couple grand and see what happens. That's all you can ever do with anything, whether it's direct mail, whether it's television, if it's some kind of referral program. You put together an amount of money that you feel is big enough to give you a statistically viable sample, but small enough that if it doesn't work, it doesn't kill you, and you let it rip. You know, and so that's how marketing in life works, right?
Yeah. Okay. One other quick question. So, okay, let's say I'm going to do a multi-touch campaign with postcards with this. Do I do the same postcard over and over again, or do I just change up the headline a little bit? What do you think in this case?
Yeah, you know, you probably don't need that many different versions, because the message is very straightforward the way that we've got it here.
Okay.
But I think it's an interesting enough proposition that, you know, the multi-touch is good always, but I think, you know, there may just be enough women interested in this. I don't know. I mean, how many people like this kind of stuff?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I think, you know, that, and that's what this is. This is a test to see how this is gonna come out. But I think there's enough demand out there for this, and I think it's just I think at this price point,
what's the age range of girls that will do this?
20 to 60. I mean, we have people all over that run the gamut.
Okay, so this isn't just something for, you know, the 23-year-old girl that's, you know,
not at all,
firmly entrenched in the party scene.
No, most of our clients are 40 to 55. Most of our clients right now are in that range.
Okay, so here's what I would do. I would go to the, you know, I wouldn't do this if I was you, because you don't have the expertise right at this moment. So come to us and we can help you do this. Here's what I would do if you came to me. I would go to the adult contemporary station that caters to women. I'd probably go to the hot AC station that plays more like Maroon 5 and stuff like that. And I would go to the adult contemporary station that plays a little bit older music. These both cater highly to women. I would say, how much is it going to cost me to do a test? I would try it.
Okay.
And you can do the test for relatively little money. And, you know, there's negotiation ploys that we can utilize where we get in there and say, hey, you know what, this is a test. We don't know if it's going to work. Can we pay you, you know, a reduced fee the first time with a promise that if it works to a certain level that we'll renew at a higher rate, you know, to minimize your risk. There's things that can be done that may or may not be available. They may hear you say that and say, you know, go jump in the lake, but, you know, you could try.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, great. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, hey, thank you, and appreciate everybody who's participated. Thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all next time, which incidentally is a week from today. We're going to have, incidentally, we're going to have a discussion on radio a week from today. So maybe that'll be interesting for you, Chase.
All right, great. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.